Astrologically, we are moving from Piscean Age, which is very much the age of the intellect and the likes of that material world, to the Aquarian Age, which is more the feeling side of us. As the hippies said, harmony, love, and understanding. And we're really in the middle of the changeover now. On the way here, I listened to Dolores Cannon, who was a kind of psychic mystic, and she described it very succinctly. So she said she sees the process happening in three waves. The first one started in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, and that's when I was growing up. It was the time of revolution in many ways. It's when the beatniks came in, rock and roll, a lot of protesters protesting against war and violence, and then, of course, ultimately the hippie movement. And these things came in a time where it was extremely conservative. It was a very stiff world. And I feel that these people came in to kind of stir things up, to make space for something new. And then she describes the second wave as from about 2000 onwards to now. It's a great polarization. And again, you can almost say it's like the old way, which is, again, the materialistic, intellectual side against the feeling, loving side of the new. And then that the third wave is going to come when the change has happened, and people born after about the year 2000, a lot of them will be carrying that energy. I feel that what we can each do individually is really work on our own state of being, our state of consciousness, raising our own frequency. We are really all one. I heard someone liken it to looking at a film, realizing that we're maybe a pixel in the whole film. But of course, that one little pixel influences everything else. If that pixel wasn't there, that would be an incomplete picture. So what I want to suggest we to do is work with we can start by saying hello, Marnie.
Aloha.
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 Thank you. Which means love in Hawaiian.
Is it?
Polynesian.
Well, love. Yeah, why not?
Yes,
Love.
exactly.
Yeah.
Today, I really want to just talk to you a bit about kind of the world situation and a little bit what we can do to make it better. So I know in other earlier podcasts, we've talked quite a lot about the bigger picture of what's happening on the planet and the cosmos, the Aquarian Age moving in and all this stuff. And I maybe just start by summarizing that whole scene a little bit and come back to the thing I most want to talk about. So astrologically, we are moving from Piscean Age, which is very much the age of the intellect and the likes of that material world, to the Aquarian Age, which is more the feeling side of us. As the hippies said, harmony, love, and understanding. And we are really in the middle of the changeover now. On the way here, I listened to a podcast by Dolores Cannon, who was a kind of psychic mystic, lovely lady, and she described it very succinctly. So I wanted to say how she said it. She said she sees the process happening in three waves. The first one started in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. And that's when I was growing up, so I know all about that. It was the time of revolution in many ways. It's when the beatniks came in, rock and roll, a lot of protesters protesting against war and violence, and then, of course, ultimately the hippie movement. And these things came in a time in the 50s, or started in the 50s, where it was extremely conservative. It was a very stiff world. And I feel that these people came in to kind of stir things up, to make space for something new. And then she describes the second wave as from about 2000 onwards to now. And we're in it now. You know, there's great polarization if you look at what United States is experiencing, for example, it's quite easy to see, very much polarizing there between the different sides. And again, you can almost say it's like the old way, which is, again, the materialistic, intellectual side against the feeling, loving side of the new. And then that the third wave is going to come really when the change has happened, and people born after about the year 2000, a lot of them will be carrying that energy. So that's the background. But if we look at the world as it is today, ecologically, we are in pretty bad shape. And I know there are a lot of us that really want to do something about it. And a lot of people are on the physical plane. But I feel that we can do something even better than that, which is start with ourselves. We have inner pollution too. How we see the world is what we create outwardly, as we well know. And we've talked about this from quantum physics too, isn't it? What we create in us is what happens outwardly, including all the devastation that we see around us. That's my point on that. But I feel that what we can each do individually is really work on our own state of being, our own state of consciousness, and work with raising our own frequency as an ongoing project. It's not something you just do and get done and carry on. But I really want to talk about that, what you and I can do here today, and I know we already do it a bit, as a very practical step to make this world better. And I know one thing we've also talked about from quantum physics is that we are really all one. We appear separate. I see you sitting there and I'm sitting here, but in essence, we are the same being. We are the oneness, which sounds incredibly religious, but I don't mean it that way. I heard someone liken it to looking at a film and realizing that we're maybe a pixel in the whole film. There's the cosmos. I love that analogy. It sort of makes sense. But of course, that one little pixel influences everything else. If that pixel wasn't there, that would be an incomplete picture. So what I want to suggest we could do as a starting point is work with unconditional love, which again sounds very fluffy and holy, but it's a really, really tough challenge. I don't know if you've got any experience or anything you want to say about that, Marnie, or what that means to you, unconditional love.
Well, unconditional love, I whenever I hear or like think about the meaning of it, I can only refer to my family, like what I got from my family. And I don't think like majority of people can relate, but of course it's not, for everyone, because some people have a tough upbringing and like maybe don't have a stable family, or they don't get that unconditional love from anywhere, from anyone. So the definition is up to who you are, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think...
What does it mean for you personally?
Acceptance, no matter what you are, you're loved. Or what flaws and what quality you have. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how weak you are, whatever you are.
Yeah.
You're loved. That's unconditional.
Fantastic.
That's what I think. I don't know.
Yes. Up until recently, we had this amazing cat living with us for 2 years called Lilleman. And he was an absolute master of unconditional love. And if a group of people came in the house, he will go around, jump up on them, and he would kiss and smooch them until he was done with them. But everybody got love, the same amount, no exceptions. I really learned a lot from watching him, but I also learned that he has very strong boundaries. Because when you think of unconditional love, it's easy to think that, that you're a big gooey sponge ball and everyone's going to walk all over you. But it's quite the opposite. You have to really know yourself well and know where you begin and end. So you may give a person unconditional love, but it does not mean you need to like their actions. That's another matter. So if someone's mean to you, you can still love them, but say, hey, no, you can't do that to me with their actions.
For me, the bonding that you have with your family depends on if you have a bonding, close relationship with your family and your siblings. That's the foundation of unconditional love. And it's hard to have that bonding with other people. It's not impossible. Like, you can develop that bonding, maybe with your partner in life. Obviously, you have it if you have children, you have it with your kids. But to really purely act out of unconditional love with a total stranger, I think it takes another level of learning and understanding and like caring and like, based on what we experience right now and what we know and how what social skills we have and how the society is structured, that's unconditional love is like, as you said, it's like a gooey woo-woo person.
Well, we need to move past that because there's another way to do it too.
So what I'm thinking is that the bonding between human beings needs to form in a lot deeper level than we understand right now. Right now it's like, yeah, okay, we are all human. It's like a every man for themselves kind of attitude. And it's such a huge shift to...
I would like to share with you, because I work with treatments, as you know, with massage, shiatsu. What I start every treatment with is I say mentally to myself, oh, this is my brother Mats or my sister Anna or something, before I start the treatment. And that puts me in the frame of, okay, this is someone I'm connected with, and that really affects my treatment beyond measure, because then I have that connection of love. Of course, they're not my physical brother and sister, but they are my spiritual brother and sister. And when I see someone that's upsetting me out in society, I remind myself the same thing too. Okay, that person's doing stuff I think is horrible, but they're still my brother or sister. And that just a shift for me. That's what works for me. I had to do it consciously. Otherwise, I easily get caught back. And, oh, that person, blah. Yeah, that's no good. No, it's so true. But I want to say also that I think a good place to start to make it real is that we turn it inwards, unconditional love for ourselves. And that's the ground rule of altruism, which altruism is giving love selflessly. But you have to have it sorted here first too. If we don't truly love ourselves, and I don't mean in a mad egotistical way, I mean in a real way, that we accept everything that we are here and now as perfect. And when I say that, I'm talking about all the things I could see as imperfections in myself. My tendency to not believe in myself all the time, I have to really work on that constantly. But I can accept that. Okay, that's my lesson. It's one of my lessons in life. And here today, I am perfect as I am. I know that I'm a very impatient person, even if it doesn't show on the outside. Accept that. Accept the fact that I'm a very empathetic person. I accept that as well as a positive thing. Accept as much as I can. I'm a work in progress. I haven't got there 100% yet. But when we have that feeling of accepting ourselves or accepting myself as I am, that's really where the unconditional love blossoms from.
So you start with yourself.
It has to, yeah. Otherwise, it's fake. And that's not something you do in 5 minutes. It'll probably take a lifetime to get to 100%. But it's something that we can all do here and now. And why I'm talking about it now is because that is one thing we can do which helps us, and it helps the whole system. It helps raise the frequency, the vibration of the planet. So it's one thing every one of us can do all the time to help lift this frequency out of the old and into the new. Because when all is said and done, as the Beatles sang, all you need is love. And love is not a gooey mush. It is the actual frequency of the cosmos.
So what would be your plan or suggestion for this paradigm shift?
That we all take responsibility for caring for ourselves, learning to love ourselves, and through doing so, learn to not judge or not judge others and act out of unconditional love. You don't have to think about it. When we've got it sorted within us, it just happens. You don't have to think, oh, now I'll be unconditionally loving. No. It starts here, and it's the natural way of being.
No, I understand. That's the aim. That's the goal.
Yeah, well, it's an ongoing project.
What will be the process to end up there?
Sit down and write a list of all the things we like and dislike about ourselves in as much detail and as deep as we can manage, and just consciously say, okay, that's me right now. I accept that is me, and that this is perfect for me at this very point. Tomorrow I'll be a little bit better, but right now this is perfection, and I accept myself as I am. You can do it as a daily project if you choose to. I find for me it's bits and pieces that pop up, and I think, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, let's look at that. Oh, yeah, oh, all right, that's me. And it's usually to do with not believing in myself. That's my big challenge. It's something around that. But we all have our challenges. And those challenges, Marnie, there's nothing wrong with them. That's why we're here. Those are our lessons to learn. In Taoism, we learn about yin and yang, the dark and the light. And our bad habits or our fears and things, they look like something we want to run away from. And it is certainly something we can move from. But we move from the dark to the light. So that's the whole texture of life, if you like. But I feel that with the old Piscean way, which is very much more up in the head, as I said, we have a tendency to get stuck in judging ourselves and judging others and competing. And those things just don't really work anymore with the new system.
All right, well, okay. I don't want to interrupt you, but...
No, go for it.
You always give a bad rep to intellect. I don't think...
No.
I don't think...
But it's... Okay, yeah.
No, let me just explain it. I don't think it has anything to do with intellect. I think it's the combination of feelings, conditioning, your upbringing, your cultural learning, whatever it is that you're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And all that needs to be upgraded, needs to be updated, you need to find new ways to feel, find new ways to think. Like have more critical thinking, find your own way. Don't just be a sheep that just taking
absolutely.
everything that
Yeah.
he or she heard in the school or whatever, in the household or whatever. I don't think it's intellect per se, because I don't think the problem is like intellect developed too far and feelings didn't develop. I think none of them developed to the degree that we need to be developed to act in a unconditional, loving way towards fellow human being.
Well, I do agree in a way. There's nothing wrong with the intellect. It's an amazing tool. It's how we use it. So in that way, I do agree with you. But we can't blame the intellect. But it is, our society has been that the intellect seems to rule us, whereas in actual fact, we should be working in sync with our feelings.
I understand. Like, there should be a balance between your intellect and your feelings. But I just want to paint the right picture here.
Sure.
If intellect rules our society, it's a broken intellect. It's not an intellect. Even intellectually, you can see that, we have enough food in the world that no one needs to go hungry. Even my intellect tells me that, why do we have hunger problem in the world? We have enough food, we throw it out, or it goes bad. You know what I mean? So it's not, it gets opposite, I think. It goes to the direction of like feelings, like having like almost like a, how do you say, being a mess emotionally, that you have the need to make people suffer and like destroy and conquer. You know, these are more
I hear what you're saying.
Emotional disconnect and intellect. Because intellect, I don't think I'm not saying like that's the only thing you need. Of course, you have to feel for other people or anyone else beside yourself to be able to see if they're in need, if you can help them. You have to give a damn about them. So that's the feeling part.
Yeah.
But if you have a right intellect, if you like mentally matured enough, then you choose the right path. So it's not like, okay, one is developed all the way and one is not developed, and that's the problem. No, none of them developed. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Your intellect hasn't been developed. And when you refer to it, like, I know in terms of like, if you have a science degree, you might know more facts, but that doesn't mean you're intellectually more matured.
No.
You just have more information in your head that the tool, your mind, is not capable to like make something out of it.
Yes, it's true.
You just know more.
Facts are not a good intellect. Facts are just information. But what you do with it, then you're getting, that's the difference.
So I think it's my point of view. Sorry, I don't want to like,
No,
it's not a
this is
debate.
good.
I'm just like, I like to add to it so it gives more depth.
That's why we're doing this, dude.
Intellect is good and dandy. Feelings are good. All of them are good. But we have to work like simultaneously, raise the intellect, filter throughout our feelings and find a way to like don't get worked up by, I don't know, this guy, I said hi and this guy didn't respond, so I'm gonna fuck him up, I was trying to not to curse, but here we are now.
Oh, well, this one. But okay, maybe we then need to make a differentiation between feelings and emotions. Our feelings are what we truly feel in the heart, which for a lot of people is we don't get training in that. Emotions are learned feelings, which usually come from fears or which are related to up here. So that's what I hear you saying. And you're quite right, but we must discern the difference between those two. And to me, if we're in balance, we start with the feelings. Oh man, I really want an ice cream, you know. Okay, intellect, get yourself into gear, get some money, get down to the shop, let's buy an ice cream. But then if the intellect takes over, ice cream, oh, you're going to get fat, you know. You've already had 3 today. It's like we get out of balance between the two, you know.
Isn't that
then,
emotions that you learned from
Yes.
things that you heard? Like
Exactly.
You're fat, you have to
emotions are learned.
You have to watch what you eat.
Yeah.
Stop eating.
Yeah.
Half away before you feel full.
Yeah.
These are emotionally, like, how do you say, emotionally forced to you.
Yes. Thank you. That's the difference.
I think like you separate feelings from emotions,
Yes.
but you don't separate intellects from emotions.
Well, to me, an emotion is an intellectual process because it's a learned thing. It's not coming from here, and there is a big difference. You know, I'm really glad you brought that up because that really gives us a whole different ballpark to talk about, which we probably haven't got time to do here now. But
I think we stick with this topic for today. It's all right.
Oh, all right. Oh, gee, you're in trouble, dude. Okay.
Well, trouble. I like to be in trouble.
Okay, good.
That's where you learn.
So to me, if we're an ideal balanced human, that ice cream analogy is a really good one. And what we said about all the doubts and that can come up too. And the doubts are not always wrong, of course. I mean, if you've already had 3 ice creams in one day, a 4th one's probably not that healthy, you know. So it's not like it's a right or wrong there either. You know, there can be some good from that, but we just have to discern, you know, what's real.
Okay, to get back to our topic and not get lost in details.
Yes.
Yes, the intellect, from my point of view, intellect and emotions and feelings, they all need to be developed.
Yeah, of course.
And they all need to be aimed at
balance.
Not only balance, but growing.
Yes, of course.
You
That's the
grow
purpose
as an
of them.
individual.
Yes.
But right now, with the state of world that we live in, is most of people are emotionally messed up.
Yes.
And some of it is because of their, you know, where they grew up, their families, you know, their history. But most of it is it has been conditioned to them by the system. You talked about the first wave of this shift.
Yeah.
And you mentioned hippies.
Yes.
The hippie movement.
Yeah, from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, okay. I heard a really interesting fact today that they've been paid in 1970s. They've been paid like the equivalent of now $66 per hour.
Who?
Hippies.
But I was a hippie. No one paid me, dude.
No. I'm talking in terms of economy.
All right. Yep.
At that time. Like the hourly paid was the equivalent of $66 per hour.
I see.
Someone did that calculation. So even if they get like $5 per hour or whatever, the equivalent of how much dollars worth now is $66 per hour. Imagine getting $66 per hour wherever you are, wherever you live. What I'm trying to say, that's just like a, you know, mathematical fun fact. But it wasn't this much, like, it wasn't this hard to just make it every day or every month.
It wasn't. but I never earned that much ever. I would get that a week. My first job.
No. The equivalent of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
$66 now, you can like comfortably pay your rent and, just get on with life. So they had a comfortable life.
Yeah.
To be able to have room to
It's true.
care about, okay, these stuff, the spiritual side of reality and the feelings. Oh, I feel better when I'm like communing with these people and they feel the same way as I feel, and we feel oneness and all those good feelings that you can achieve.
But what you're saying is true in a way. My first job, which I started in 1973, I earned $75 a month. Oh, a week, sorry. And with that, I had quite a nice apartment, fairly new, which I rented. I had a 5-year-old car at that point. I didn't have a lot of money left over, but I had enough to not worry about things. So what you're saying is true. I don't know about the $66 thing, but what you're saying is true. It was much easier to live.
The money that you own, if we switch to the money now, is $66 per hour.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So the point that I'm bringing this up, the point is like, okay, how can we prepare the path to the direction that paradigm shift can happen, can even be possible?
Yeah.
We cannot.
You're absolutely. Yeah, I get you.
Okay.
Marty. Yeah. Now I'm with you. Yeah.
First, humans are emotionally messed up. Second, economically,
even more messed up.
It's challenging time for everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you're a billionaire, which is a great time for you.
Yes.
And with all that going on and like unstable state of living, just like a normal, like your life doesn't go around. You know what I mean? It's like you like your job is like a fucking, it's like you have a unsecure contract with someone that will use you to the fullest potential.
Yes.
And don't pay you as much. And everything is like, it's kind of like set to be against you.
Yeah. Well, I'm totally with you. As you know, I work with our group, the Shen Foundation. Our project, we call it New Humanity, which sounds a bit sort of big, but part of what we're working with on developing is, in fact, a new economic system. Because I absolutely, it's totally out of balance now. I agree. It's just impossible unless you're a billionaire. Even millionaires probably don't have it that good either, So you're right. We don't have an answer on that yet, but we're working on that. But that is a really important aspect of a new humanity, a new way to be, is to have just a fair system. I do have some ideas myself, not that I'm an economist. I'm probably the worst person to ask. But what I think we need to come back to is just using money as a fair exchange of goods or time, and get away from this thing of having more profit, more production, which is totally screwing the planet over. But I don't think we're going to get there with the old mindset. And that's really why one of the reasons I'm talking about this unconditional love. They may not seem connected, but in actual fact, I think they're very connected. When we come back to the heart, we're going to come back to a state of mind where we're just not going to accept this current situation, which is just, as you said, it's totally off the planet. I think we all know that, Marnie. I mean, look at America now. It's, sorry, America, nothing against you. You're teaching us good lessons, but we don't want to be like you. And I don't think you want to be like you either. That's a very good point, Marnie. Thank you. It's not really quite what I was thinking of talking about today, but it's very relevant and it is a big part of it. We need a new economic system. We need a new social system too of how we live. In my opinion, a big part of our problems today are that we've come away from feeling like a part of our society. And I love Sweden, but I'd say it's one of the places where they are worst at that. Where we are right now in Stockholm apparently has the highest number of single person apartments and homes in the whole country, maybe in the world, I don't know. I looked at a program some time back it was about old age. It might sound a little abstract to your mind, but I'll get back to it. Anyway, they showed this village in Sardinia, where they are one of the places on the planet to have the most people over 100 years old. And the deciding thing that made people live long and healthy was that they all felt like they belonged to they had a useful part to play in society. Mm. And the example they gave, they showed us this 96-year-old woman, and she was out digging the vegetable garden, growing her beans and things, and that was her contribution to the village, that she was still creating good food and caring for the families in her way. So that's the other thing I really feel we need to address to make a really good new humanity is how we live and our connection with nature. Mm. That was a part of the thing in Sardinia too.
I totally agree with everything that you say. I just want to.
You don't need to
find a. No. I agree.
You do, okay.
Yeah, voluntarily.
Oh, okay. You mean me kicking you under the table's not working? Okay.
Well, that too.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a factor. But what I'm thinking is that the practicality of it. Where can we start? As you identify, it's like both. Like the start is to unconditional love, but to achieve unconditional love, you need to raise the salaries, kind of.
No, we don't.
Living condition needs to be better.
Of course they do.
We don't talk about couple individuals. We talk about the mass population, like shift, like a huge shift that is felt by people in power. People in like these billionaires. They're going to be scared shitless.
Good. Yeah, they need to be.
And there is like some movements, like people start talking about it. It's like, okay, this is not the way to go about life. It's like, let's say I make it, which I don't, but I make it comfortably. Make it every month, have some small savings as well, which I don't.
Nor do I.
So, so let's not get crazy and lose this comfortable life. It's like, no, but the way it's going right now, you're going to be, like soon you're not going to make it.
No.
You're going to lose your comfort.
Yes.
So if something happened to your neighbor or like to someone that you know, if you don't react to it, if you don't find a solution for it, sooner than later it's going to happen to you.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And these people, there is more people in challenging time, they're like having a hard time than the people that are fairly comfortable. We just need to unite. We just need to understand, like, okay, if I fight for you, you fight for me. We fight the fucking same enemy. And together we are strong. Together we can get through. Together we can make the change that we want to see.
Yeah, but we are our own enemy too.
It starts with yourself.
Yeah,
but I think
it doesn't end with us, but it starts here.
Yeah, but to have the requirement of unconditional love, I think we have to be realistic about it. I can have unconditional love for people in terms like, okay, I will see if I can help you. And if I can, I would. But I'm going to make sure that I don't hurt you.
Well, that sounds
That's the
pretty
best
good.
thing I can do right now.
Well, that's great.
Because sometimes it's like, I cannot help you.
What's the problem?
Sometimes I cannot help someone and they required me to help them. And then they like get mad that I didn't help them. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's like people have expectations.
Yes.
So
Yes.
To reach the level of unconditional love, we need to have fix these broken like relationship and understanding and caring that is going on in the society. No one gives a fuck about I curse again.
Damn.
No one cares about, okay, I'm gonna make it, I paid my bills, I have this money, I'm gonna have this vacation. And like in their close circle, people are suffering. Like if you help that person that lives like so close to you, like maybe, I don't know, your cousin or like your nephew or your brother sometimes, and they get to like, you help them out and they have a little better, it doesn't need to be like, to the same level as you live. That's how you heal the society. That's because we're just thinking like, oh no, these billionaires, they have to, yeah, but we have to care about each other first.
Of course.
Like look inward and then start from the closest people around you. If you can help them with whatever. It doesn't need to necessarily be economically.
You said a big word here, which we haven't looked at yet, and that's expectations. And that comes alongside judgment.
Yeah.
And those are the two things we need to release when we're accepting ourselves. Don't worry about the others right now, but expectations, judgment, those are the things that we let go of when we accept ourselves. It means we don't expect anything of ourselves. We accept as we are right now, and we don't judge ourselves. And then from that, then we don't judge others. I have been exactly in that situation that you just mentioned last year or the year before. And I know my beloved partner got really upset when we didn't receive help from some people who could easily have helped us. And the help came from my family in the end, which is very good. Thankful for that. But that was really, really throwing in my face what you were just saying. And I had to really live up to my belief that we don't judge and expect from others. And, it was a big lesson in what you're saying. But, put the expectations away. We've got another ballpark. Just coming back to how we can make things better and why unconditional love is important. It's like it doesn't directly change our income, of course, but when we're in a higher frequency of energy in a better place, which we will be when we give out unconditional love, and if all of us manage to be unconditionally loving, there's no choice. We just won't accept the old ways. It just won't be there. We will naturally fall into wanting to help others and have a fair deal for others and support each other. That's part of the deal with being unconditionally loving. It's what happens. And I would say the difference between, we go back to altruism for a minute. Altruism, the definition of it is selfless giving. But I know from experience that if we do not take care of ourselves first and we give and give and give, we end up being a martyr. We end up being a victim. And I think this is something we need to really look at too with unconditional love. Take care of ourselves first, get our own shit sorted, then we can do whatever we can for others. If we try and do it the other way around, we end up being the victim. And victim, this is a bit of a setup, sorry. Victim mentality to me is real poison for all the things that we're talking about here. To feel that we are not in control, that we cannot do something about our situation. And I'm talking about the big situation now. And that's really why I want to talk about things today and maybe in future podcasts too, as to what we do to release the victim mentality. And to me, unconditional love is just step one. There's so much more we can do. But unfortunately, our welfare society helps us fall into that feeling that we're not in control, which I'm very sad about.
As I said, we need a new system to be able to
Yeah, of course we do.
flourish and
We sure do, buddy. Big time.
give possibility for those qualities in human beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the real thing we can do, each of us here and now, is work on ourselves and get our own stuff sorted, get our own state of mind in a good place. And, just think, okay, just say, for example, we two and a few of our friends listening here, if we all take time to say, okay, today I'm going to sort my stuff a bit better, be more loving, less judgmental to myself, to others. Wow, we've already made a shift in the whole planet. We may not think little us matter, but we really do. Everyone matters hugely. There's I can't get the words right for this, but there's a Taoist saying something like, a butterfly flaps its wings and there is a storm on the other side of the planet. One little tiny movement in us, one change in attitude, and it's connected to everything, to everyone. And it may only be a tiny thing, but it makes a difference. So I really want our followers to feel that we're not useless, we're not alone, we're not hopeless. We make a difference with little things. Every happy thought, every smile. It sounds very cliche, but, it all helps,
Okay, to put it in context, can you describe that new system that is functional for people to...
I don't think it's formed yet. I've got my own ideas.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You can read it from, you can have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just have to get my thoughts together here a bit. It's just not just my idea that I'm talking now, but generally people that...
just a model of how we can look alike if we...
Yeah. First of all, I would like to feel that we live in an environment where we have close contact with nature. I feel that that's extremely important for our well-being. That we have good air, fresh water, and good food, which sounds very simple, but most people don't have that on the planet. So that to me would be a wonderful starting point. I'm talking ideally now, of course, but we must start somewhere. I would like to see an economic system, an economic attitude. I think there's nothing wrong with the actual money system. It's just an exchange of energy. But we need to shift our mindset away from this idea that we must produce more and more, and that we must have more and more things to live well, and that we must have greater profits all the time. And we just look at the planet now to see why we need to change that. It's a catastrophe. But I don't want to get on the negative stuff. If we learn to live more simply, not to expect, if we have a business, to make more and more profits, but just to have a good exchange for what we do. If it's a service, that, okay, we do this much time and we get this much money back, pay that much tax, which we did have before. It's not a new system. It's just in here, mindset.
To simplify it, corporate capitalism is to get the fuck out.
Yes,
right.
Thank you. You have a way with words, Marnie.
Yeah.
Can you say it again?
Corporate capitalism needs to get the fuck out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And if we look back at the intellect feeling thing, that's the intellect taken to extreme.
Mm.
It is exploiting, it's competing, it's good for the 1% and really bad for the other 99. And I'm not a communist at heart, I'm not a socialist, I'm not an anythingist, but just fair exchange and caring for our planet, of course, as number one.
Mm.
People seem to think we have endless possibilities with this planet, but we keep hearing our scientists yelling at us that we haven't got long left. We're at the tipping point. And I agree. And I think we're at the tipping point soon. I've heard it said we've got 10 years left to get our shit together, as it were, internally. Otherwise, there's not much chance. I don't want to believe that. But that is really why I'm here talking to you now, because I feel that. I don't want to see us go under. I want to see us thrive and have a wonderful time. And I want to see all this new, wonderful energy coming into our planet to be here for us, to be able to celebrate newness and oneness.
Okay, to continue. Sorry, I cut you off
finished.
almost.
No, I'm starting to
continue
preach.
along. To continue along, what will be the next thing that needs to change? You talk about the living condition, the environment, the new economy model.
I'm not quite sure on the next step, frankly, more than that we keep evolving ourselves as best as we can. And I think from that, it's going to create the next steps. I don't have all the answers, but I know that collectively, the more we raise our level of consciousness, the more the new system will just fall into place. Having said that, as you know, our group Shen Foundation is actively working to try and find specific ways to maybe find an economy system. We have some help from high places, thank goodness. But we're not there yet by any means, but we're working on it. So, and we'll keep working on it too. Simplify the thing with unconditional love, which I do think sounds very big and pompous in a way, which it isn't, but it sounds it. At the very least, if we just do the very best we can, just be a decent human being, that's a damn good start too, you know. Be kind, be honest, be fair to yourself, be fair to those around you. Can't go wrong, really. Well, not far wrong.
Well, I think most people are decent human beings.
Of course we are, yeah.
But the condition that you're struggling with, it's like you can barely hold your head, keep your head
of
above
course.
the water.
It's not supposed to be like this,
and
Marnie.
in that position, it comes down to like, all right, yeah, I'm barely surviving. How can I help anybody? How can I even think of someone else while I'm barely making it? And that's why I'm talking about like the structure needs to change in order for us to be able to act out of love and be caring. At least be more caring.
Well, that's one way, but I'm suggesting that if we start with ourselves, we can all individually do that, and maybe in the process of that, we will do as you're saying.
I think we need to identify where we went wrong and what is the issue.
Yes, good point. Yeah.
You can be manipulated to believe like, oh, these immigrants fucking us up. Oh,
It's
this.
nothing to do with immigrants.
No, I know, but like
we're immigrants.
we can be we can be manipulated and be like kind of fooled to believe that no, it has nothing to do with these people on top that running the countries and those people that takes all the benefits, all the profits. It's your neighbor Jabbar that takes away your rights and your well-being.
Yeah, but that's pretty dumb, isn't it?
No, I know, but that's the model that it's been trending, and now
of course,
it got so popularized and like kind of debated in a mainstream media, and it got like some volume to it, like it got a very strong voice. That the immigration problem. They repeat it until it becomes.
Of
like,
course, you believe
maybe
it.
there is something there. Why would they like put all their chips on immigration and not mentioning like we are in Sweden have more billionaires per capita than we have in USA or anywhere else in the world? Did you know that?
Not surprised. Yeah.
So, and then you see like, oh no, social democrats like failed us. They're failing us since 90s, and the name of it is like, oh, they must be doing some good, and what they were sending out, the message that they were sending out. But then they changed. Now they are like same as liberals, same as the right wings. Like they have same policies. They look at immigrants in the same way. They want to cut off the sick payment, all the benefits that you can have, that you have in Sweden as a person. They want to, cut it off and make it harder to get help when you need help.
I know. Well, I would like to suggest, this is a very general thing now, the difference between the old worlds, which you're talking about, and the new way is if it's a system that creates division, that's old world stuff. And that's what I hear you saying now. If it creates unification, then that's what we need.
All right. As
simple as that.
As Gary Stevenson says, we need to be able to tell a story. That's why I'm trying to push you to say more.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Give examples, tell your plan, show your model. I want you to be able to have a narrative that, be a storyteller. Tell the story of how. Imagine if the world looked like that. Imagine if you wake up and you can ask yourself, am I capable of working today? Am I all there? Or do I need a rest? Have the possibility to choose to not work or work, and nothing will change in your life. You have the safety, you have the security that, no, you don't need to fucking push hard or break yourself down to be able to just make it.
One thing I haven't told you, Marnie, is I do have a little plan in my mind for doing that in future podcasts.
Okay.
But that's good that you bring it up now too. Absolutely. You have talked earlier quite a lot about living in a word that I can never remember. Living in a fake world, in
simulation.
A simulation. Thank you.
Yeah.
My brain blocks that word out for some reason. And really,
you don't want to believe.
Oh, I believe it. I've been living it for 72 years. That's probably why. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's part of our learning process. But to me, I do feel that we've been sucked into a system where we have more or less become cogs in someone else's wheel to make money, where we are kind of forced, not really, but we feel we are forced to live a life that we maybe wouldn't choose exactly what you're saying. And when we work, how much we work, all the rest. And maybe choosing to do work that we don't feel in our hearts. Now, I would like to think with our new world that we don't have that system at all, that we choose from the heart first and foremost. I would like to see an education system that teaches us how to live first and foremost, and working might be a little bit on the end. I mean, when I say working, what we choose as our career path, if we have one. And that to me, I know, has been a process over the last few hundred years where our education system has really, I mean, if you think back to Greek times, to the great philosophers then, they weren't training someone to have a career or work. They were learning life. But somewhere along the line, it's twisted around, and everything we do at school is geared towards what we're going to do, what our work is going to be. That would be a huge shift in a new system too. That we learn life skills, we learn to live, we learn to learn. I'm just starting a course on that shortly. We're not taught how to learn, are we? We're just expected to learn.
We need to learn how to think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Learn to think, learn to feel, learn to be, the whole lot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Creation, all the rest. So that would make what you just touched on, that would really make that a reality. And this is not coming from me. I heard this all my childhood from my mother. And her father was a very radical educationalist, and he had the same views too. Unfortunately, fortunately for my mother and her siblings, they grew up with that education. They were taught poetry and how to write, how to recite it, and music, and the whole thing, you know. And they were amazing people, my aunties and uncle and all around them. So I know there's reality in what I'm saying. I've experienced it through them. And that would really take us away from this fake world thing too, that, you know, we're taught how to live, how to be, how to follow our heart, how to find joy in life, get what we want, live how we want. So there's another aspect of the story too, mister. Education. Of course, I would like to see us living in a way that we're very self-sufficient too. I don't think we have to be extreme about that, but more locally we have our own products, our own food, things.
It's funny because I grew up in that like a small community that you have everything local, from bakery to mayory to it's not mayory in English.
Dairy.
Right? Dairy. And like, first of all, it was amazing, the quality. Then you know who's making your food, and everything was fresh, and it was enough for that small community that I grew up in. And like, of course, you have the brands and like, you know, all the products that you want, like you want to experience whatever, but you had the option to, if you want to go local, if you want to, I don't know, buy a fresh baked bread or buy like a fresh yogurt or whatever. So I think the quality of life will rise if we like have a small communities that are self-sufficient and like, you know, the money doesn't need to go to the system to come back. It goes around in that small community, and everybody benefits from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about this. I one thing, because you sent me a very nice text. I thought like you're just gonna read that, but we just talked, discussed it.
I didn't have an exact plan.
Yeah.
So,
But maybe later, maybe another time, you need to read through it, read from it. So it was nice. It was like short, but very
good.
nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, we can end on that for now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marnie.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Try to be kinder. Be a little kinder.
And I would like to say too, I really hope that at least some of you might want to take up the challenge on the unconditional love thing. Please give us comments. Let us know. I want to know that, that we're collectively making a difference on this planet. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, Marnie.